All right.
We are ready whenever you are.
All right. Hey, very proud of this football team. Listen, you come into Auburn and play and win a game, it's extremely tough. I think this is one of the hardest places, not the hardest place to play in this league. It's very tough. Uh, Guys were very proud of their guys. Knew it was a big battle coming in here, important game. They were a physical team. Offensively, we had struggled last week. Knew we had to have a good performance this week. Very proud of our guys. Ran the ball for 313 yards. Kellen was crazy efficient, 18 to 23. Big throws in the fourth quarter. Big throws on third down. Big catches by our team. Had some opportunities in the game. Want to look at some of these chop penalties. I want to see what that's about. We've never had those, so that's kind of conspicuous. But we'll look at it and see. Those are big penalties in the game. Defensively, gave up some things. They ran the ball on us a little bit early and had some things going, and quarterback scrambling, getting him on the ground. Bo's a heck of a competitor and player. Gave up a big drive. The second half was disappointing. They got ahead, and then we move it and throw the ball. I guess we hit the official and then miss a third down and come back. And then our defense gives up some more plays. But to keep the turning point, I was very proud of being able to hold them to a field goal down there and keep it a one-score game. Then we offensively go back and score, and they get off. We score again and do the same thing and eat clock at the end. And the third down conversions, one with Kellen's legs in that last drive and the catch by Nice were huge. They ended up being inches short, but our offensive line, we ate the clock, took the game, and then Seth hits a big field goal after missing the game. That's a big-time kick coming back after missing the kick there. So, but we knew it was going to take a team effort. Very proud of our guys. They're learning to play, not let the momentum swings bother them, and taking control, and just keep playing the next plays and developing the right mentality and culture for what we're trying to do. So very proud of our guys, and we got to get ready to play versus team next week.
All right, we'll get started with questions. First up is Zach Taylor from WTAW. Then we'll go to Mark Passwell.
Yeah, Jimbo, can you say it was the most complete offensive performance your team has had this year?
So I don't know. Now we had some games at Florida that we scored about every drive, and we scored at Arkansas. It was big drives and big times. It was a game that we played really well. But I'm trying to think. Alabama, we didn't score those games, but it was a good game. Hey, it was one of them.
And electing to go with the kick there at the end, what kind of confidence do you hope that gives Seth after that miss earlier in the game?
Well, I told him in there. I believe he missed a field goal kick early, and we knew it, but it was the right thing to do. 2 scores, and I watch him every day. I know what he does. I know how he misses, and he don't miss much. So he had that one out of his assist. I knew the next one would be good. But we could have went for it on inches, but it's the right thing, and I believe in him 100%. And very proud of him. That was a huge kick to be able to hit that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Mark Passwaters from Rivals, and then we'll go to Robert Cessna.
Jimbo, I was hoping you'd talk a little bit more about the big part of the offense today, the running game behind Isaiah and A-Chain. 313 yards, that may be the most you've racked up since you've been here. You might elaborate a little bit on their performance?
I think it was there. I think they ran the ball well. I think Kellen did a great job with the option game and the read game that allowed his legs, and I think that kept them spread, allowed those guys to run. I'll tell you 2 things about Spiller I was outstanding about. One, he ran tremendous. At the end, we elected to put Nias at tailback and not give it to him because it kept nickel people in the game, not big people in the game, and was unselfish and went to fullback and blocked for those runs and that critical drive. That says a lot about him and our football team. That's the kind of guys. The Chain was in there. We wanted to get him rotation. Went to last week. He just got out of hand there. We didn't play as good. So, but he played outstanding, big runs in the game, big plays. And I thought Kellen did a really good job with his legs also. So, all those guys, but Spiller and Chain were outstanding in the game. And our offensive line did a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Robert Cessna from the Bryan College Station Eagle, and then we'll go to Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, Jimbo, third goal at the 1, you don't get it, miss the field goal, they go down and score. What's different about this team that maybe in past that might hurt you, and this team is able to overcome that?
Well, I think you can't worry about the last play. Whatever happens, happened. All right, what's the situation we're in? How do we handle on offense? How do we handle on defense? I think it's a maturity thing. And you got to grow up and you got to understand those things. And listen, there's going to be momentum swing in the game. They're going to make plays. Bad things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen. Process what happened last time. Learn from it. Move on. If that situation comes up again, learn from it. But play the next play. And we're learning to do that. That's very important. And it's maturity from our football team.
And what about, in retrospect, having those 21 days off last week? Did that possibly, your offense so sharp this time, was that 21-day layoff part of it?
Listen, you can say that, but I don't buy that. I don't buy that stuff. I don't make it 21 days, 28 days, 7 days, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I don't care. You line up and play. And LSU got after us. They played good defense. We didn't play well, make plays on offense, weren't consistent. And that's what happens if you're not fundamentally sound and do the things you have to do. And we're inches. We found the inches today. We lost the inches last week. I mean, 21 days, that's all great. But listen, that was the cards you dealt. You play them and you learn to play well. And hopefully we'll learn from that too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Tyler Shaw from KBTX, and then we'll go to Olin Buchanan.
Coach, there in the fourth quarter on defense, what changed there on defense? I mean, it seemed like you killed any momentum that Auburn, might have still had.
Well, our guys go like on offense. We had a couple of drives we didn't score on defense. You raise your game. You got to go higher. You got to make plays. Your intensity goes up. Your urgency goes up. Your attention to detail goes up. And that's, when you can do that when things are going bad, that's the maturity of a football team. And that's a sign of a good football team. And very proud of Mike making the adjustments. Elko doing some nice adjustments and those guys doing the assignments and playing. That's maturity and leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Olin Buchanan from TexAgs, and then we'll go to Chuck Carlton.
Can you hear me all right?
Okay. Yeah, got you now.
All right. Jimbo, just the feeling that you had going into the fourth quarter, I wonder if you had some frustration before that, and how confident were y'all that you'd be able to control things the way you did?
No, I wasn't frustrated. It's the next game. That's what you play good people. You expect them to make play. When you expect things to be tough and get tough, it don't bother you. I knew it was going to be tough in here. Our players knew it was going to be tough. So we just had to keep matching and raising our game and doing the things we had to do. We felt we was going to have to eat clock, but we was going to have to score points. We were going to have to run the football and convert on third down, make our plays in the red zone. We knew exactly what we talked about at halftime. Went out there and did it.
Was that a convincing win in your opinion?
I don't know. That's for y'all to judge. I'm just glad we're winning. I'm glad we're playing. I don't really care. I'm just worried that we keep moving on. We'll evaluate everything at the end of the year. Don't worry. I ain't worried about convincing. I'm worried about us playing well and doing the best we can play each and every play.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we'll go to Chuck Carlton from the Dallas Morning News, and then we'll go to Travis Brown and wrap it up with Jennifer Streeter.
Jimbo, with Kellen coming off a tough game against LSU, what did you see from him in terms of bouncing, especially in that fourth quarter?
I saw him all week. Listen, Kellen, nobody, don't you talk about players, coaches, teams that don't play well? Nobody puts more pressure on him than we do ourselves. And he knew he didn't play well, but we had to play well around him too. There was a combination of things. He practiced his tail off this week, was bright-eyed, prepared well, practiced well all week, played well, and then played well in the game. Man, that's the maturity he is, and that's who he is. He's a winner.
All right, next up we have Travis Brown from the Bryan College Station Eagle, and then we'll wrap up with Jennifer Streeter.
Hey, Coach. Just curious your thoughts on Miles Jones and Leon O'Neal, two guys that were called to make some open field solo tackles, and then even
Yes.
Leon, who missed one or two but came back and still stayed really strong with tackling.
He did. He missed one down the goal line, but as a safety, you got to learn that. Hey, listen, as a DB, you're going to get beat. As a safety, you're going to miss a tackle. Things are going to happen. You put it behind you and you grow from it. But those guys made a lot of plays. Their play recognition. And why I think they're making those tackles is play recognition, intensity, focusing, reacting quicker, closing space, not allowing as much space to happen, and played great games. As I said, Miles has played an outstanding year all year, man. I'm very proud of him, and Leon's doing a good job, really good job.
And then could we get a status update on Damani Richardson and Damon Demas?
Demas is unavailable. Damani was he was nicked. We'll just go week by week. He was nicked up. We wasn't sure he'd be able to play. He couldn't play today, so we'll just go week by week.
And then is Demas injury related? Otherwise related? Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll wrap things up with Jennifer Streeter from the Battalion.
Hey, Coach, I know you kind of touched on it earlier, but I was just wondering if you could elaborate on how key it was to get that production from A-Chain, especially with him being a freshman running back.
Oh, it is. I mean, he practiced that way. He's earned it. He's played his tail off, and it gives 28. It gives a 1-2 punch, keeps him fresh for the things he did, and just very proud of him and his development. And we're going to need him down the road. That's for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Coach. That's all we got.